Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we discussed about audit, different types of audit reports. That is qualified opinion, unqualified opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer of opinion. Then after that, we discussed about audit report contents of audit report, and stages of audit, different stages of audit. Today we are going to discuss objectives of audit of financial statement. So you people know the objectives of the audit of financial statement is an opinion, expression of an opinion. Objective of an audit of financial statement is to enable an auditor to express an opinion. That is the main objective of the audit of financial statement. Whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects in accordance with an identified financial reporting framework. And these frameworks are international standards or local accounting standards. So the objective of the audit of financial statement is expression of an opinion. And what is that opinion? Whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects, they are free from errors and frauds, and they are in accordance with identified financial reporting framework, that they are according to some standards, whether international accounting standards or local accounting standards. The term used to express the opinion are give a true and fair view, are present fairly in all material respects. So he's talking about the objective, that this term, this audit of financial statement, this is used to express the opinion. And what is that opinion? That it gives a true and fair view and present fairly in all material respects. We discussed about this, true and fair, you know about this, and all material respects in accordance with some standards, that they will be according to some standards, these financial statements. What an opinion does not achieve. So an opinion does not provide any assurance about the future viability of the entity, future possibility of the entity, future existence of the entity, that in the future the company will exist or not. Auditor, on the basis of past data, he is making an opinion. So about the future, he can't say anything. He cannot give an opinion. Efficiency or effectiveness of management, and he can't tell you about the efficiency and effectiveness of the management in the upcoming year and in the past years. He is not going to tell you about the effectiveness or efficiency of management. His work is with two things: true and fair view and fair presentation in all material respects. He can't tell you about the future existence of the entity, and he can't tell you about the efficiency or effectiveness of the management. I'm talking about the auditor. In his opinion, he is not answering these two questions. Now, general principles of an audit. There are different principles of an audit. And the main is professional ethics. What is professional ethics? There are a number of ethical matters that are extremely important for auditors to consider when performing their work. When there is a teacher, so for teacher there are professional ethics. Same is the case of auditor. When he is performing his duties, so he will follow certain ethical standards. We call it professional ethics. Why it is important? It is important to recognize that many groups in society rely on accountants' work. You know that a lot of people, a lot of groups in the society, they rely on the accountant. Here we are talking about the auditor, not just the shareholders. Except shareholders, a lot of other parties are interested in the work of auditor, on whose behalf the accountant is working. Accountant is working on the behalf of these shareholders. But except these shareholders, a lot of groups in the society, they are relying on the work of auditor. Just like in the previous classes, I told you, parties interested, lenders, shareholders, government authorities, different other, the management, the trade unions, etc. All these people, they are interested in the information of the auditor and the accountant. In the light of this, ethical guidelines emphasize the following key points about the characteristics of accountants. Whenever he's talking about accountant, so it is basically the auditor. He's talking about the auditor. Now, see, when you see CA, Chartered Accountants, ACCA, Association of Chartered, what is that? I don't know. But whatever. So, he's talking about basically the auditor. Now, what are the ethical guidelines that an auditor must follow when he's performing his duties? The first one, it is independence. That auditor must be independent person. Auditor is independent of management. Management can't force him. There is no influence of management on the auditor. That is, he is not under the control or influence of management. So this is the first professional ethical guideline for auditor, that he must be an independent person. The second thing is integrity. Integrity means that he is an honest person. The auditor must be an honest person and he is not corrupt. He is straightforward in performing his professional work. So this is the second standard, ethical standard for auditor, that an auditor must be an honest person and he is not corrupt. The third thing is objectivity. One is objective, one is subjective. What is the difference between this? Subjective means suppose that you are making a perception about something. For example, you are going to a shop, you are looking at some a pair of shoe, and just by touching you're making an idea that it is a good shoe. Something else, whatever that is, you're purchasing apples, and on the base of color you are making a perception that these apples will be very sweet. This is what we call it subjective. Objective is on the base of facts and figures. Facts and figures means you collected data about something, and on the base of data you are making an opinion about something. So whenever auditor is coming, he will collect the facts and figures, and on the base of facts and figures he will give his opinion. He obtains the evidence needed to form an opinion, and his opinion is based on that evidence alone. His opinion will be on the base of all the evidences that he gathered. He is not subjective in forming his opinion. Subjective means without facts and figures, without the collection of evidence, without the collection of facts and figures, if he is making an opinion, so his opinion will be a subjective opinion. Means he don't have facts and figures about something. I'm just telling you, you just check an apple, you taste it, and then you are saying that yes, these apples will be sweet. So that is objective. But if on the base of color and on the base of touching these apples you're making an opinion, so that opinion will be a subjective opinion. So objective opinion, that opinion which is on the base of facts and figures, on the base of evidences. And subjective is that opinion which is on the base of what? Just what? Your idea, on the base of your idea. No evidence. Then the fourth ethical standard that an auditor must follow is professional competence and due care. Now, professional competence means auditor must have a professional qualification, has acquired the required skills, and has attained the experience necessary for audit. And he got experience of that thing. You know, after passing all the papers of ACCA and CA, there is a requirement that you will work in an auditing firm for 3 years. So that will be your experience. That auditor must have experience of audit and performs his work with planning and due diligence, means carefully. He will perform his duty with a complete planning and with carefulness. So this is another standard, a ethical standard that an auditor must follow. That he has professional competence, means he have a professional qualification and he got experience in that field, and after that when he is performing his work, he is planning his work and he's working, he's completing all the tasks carefully. Then there is another thing, confidentiality. He will keep all these information confidential. He will not disclose these information to other. Auditors neither disclose the information obtained during the course of his audit without permission of his client. If his client is not permitting, he can't share these information with someone else except when required in the court of law. But if there is a, you can say, the company or the client is suing the auditor, so in that case then he can disclose this information in the court of law. Now uses that information himself, and he will also not use the information collected in the auditing work himself. So confidentiality, it is another important professional ethical standard, that he will keep all the collected information confidential. He will not disclose it to someone else without the permission of the client, and he will not use these information himself. Then there is another thing, professional behavior, another ethical standard, that is the professional behavior. He should not only act in a professional manner, but should also appear to be a professional. His behavior must be professional, as well as his personality. He should appear to be a professional. He should maintain his professional knowledge and skill at a level required to ensure a client or employer receives the benefit of competent professional service based on up-to-date developments in auditing practices and relevant legislation. Now, here the main point is that auditor must try, auditor will try to give more and more benefit to the client. He will try his best that with this audit will give much more benefit to the company or to the client. He will try his best that when I will give an opinion to the auditor, this opinion will give much more benefit. It will be beneficial. This opinion give much more benefit to the client. Then there is another standard, that is technical standard. Audit should be performed by following certain standards, international or national. And when he is performing the audit, he will follow certain standards. These standards can be international standards or it can be national standards. You know about national and international. Now, we talk about the principles of audit, and in that we talk about professional ethics, that because auditor is beneficial, the work of auditor is beneficial not only to shareholders but also to other groups in the society like lenders, like trade unions, management, government authorities, etc. So his work is very important. So because of this, he must follow certain ethical guidelines or ethical standards. And these standards are, the first thing is independence, that auditor must be an independent person. Integrity, that he will perform his duty honestly, no corruption. Objectivity, the evidence, he will give the opinion on the basis of evidences, on the basis of facts and figures, and he will not give subjective opinions. Professional competence and due care, that auditor must have a professional qualification and experience, and he will perform his work with complete planning and carefulness. Then confidentiality, the information that he gathered, he will not share these information with others without the permission of the client, and he will not use these information himself. Then professional behavior. In professional behavior, we discussed that auditor will try his best to give more and more benefit to the client, that his work gives more and more benefit to the client. And technical standards, that he will follow certain national and international standards. Inshallah, in the next class, we will talk about the concept of audit evidence. That what is audit evidence, and different from where the auditor is obtaining the audit evidence. And then we will discuss about certain examples. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.